Thank you, Count Corla, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on the Finance Bill of 2020. As we all know, it's a very difficult time for businesses across the country, Minister, and it is intended that the measures outlined in this bill will go some way to reinforcing the government's support for the economy against the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic and the continuing risk of a no-deal Brexit. Which is a very serious situation for the constituency of Cork East, which I am representing, Minister. I would like to speak about the new COVID restrictions support scheme and the measures such as the reduction in VAT and the VAT tax. And such measures will provide much needed support to businesses that have had to close or significantly reduce trading as a result of the move to level 5 restrictions, Ceann Comhairle. And throughout the country, businesses in particular in the hospitality sector have really been feeling the pinch of the COVID-19 pandemic. Cork East is very famous and well regarded for many of our hotels and our tourist attractions in the area. It's also home to the Irish agri-food industry, and they've all taken a very heavy hit between COVID and Brexit. So it's incredibly important that the government is taking proactive action to try and help companies and employers out there as we try and rebuild the economy in the post-COVID era. I greatly appreciate that the difficulties that businesses and individuals face in living with COVID-19 are many in terms of I suppose the day-to-day challenges with COVID, also getting finances and accounting practices up to date and making sure that they're all correct. Many of the business owners that I'm engaging with, Minister, have found it very difficult to find finance to keep their businesses open. And I think it's great that the government has taken proactive action with helping with, I think, community banking as well with our credit unions. I know we were actively engaging in my own constituency with Middleton Credit Union, which was fantastic to see, and it's very much welcome. And I hope that you will continue to do that in your ministerial position. I believe that COVID-19 restrictions, a support scheme, or CRIS, to give it a short title, will be very, very good for businesses to provide them with certainty so that they can plan accordingly when faced with greater level of restrictions. Unfortunately, we do not know when we will be able to completely move away from restrictions in our everyday life, which is very unfortunate, as was said by the Chief Medical Officer yesterday to me when I was questioning him in the Transport Committee. And however, as I've said many times in this House and elsewhere, we need to be putting measures in place that give people clarity so they can plan with the uncertainty faced throughout COVID-19. Budget 2021 represents the single largest investment in the history of the state. We are making this investment at a time when it is needed most to protect lives and the livelihoods of people and to rise to the challenges as well, Minister, of COVID-19. The CRIS scheme will come in at a cost to the taxpayer of 80 million a week during COVID level 5 restrictions, and this will be up to 480 million up until December 1st. So I don't think anybody can come into the House here and say that the government aren't supporting local businesses in the ground and industry in Ireland and to try and protect jobs. It will provide grants of up to €5,000 a week, Ceann Comhairle, to businesses that have been forced to close and operate with significantly curtailed restrictions. I hope that such a scheme will bring in a level of certainty to businesses that are most hard hit by these restrictions, such as the consumer-facing sector of the economy, including retail and hospitality. I have engaged extensively with the Hotels Federation of Ireland, Ceann Comhairle, regarding the supports that they need to get through this crisis. Other tax measures that are included in this scheme, such as a temporary reduced VAT rate announced for the hospitality and tourism sector from 13.5% to 9%, with effect from the 1st of November of 2020, is also very welcome. It would ensure that when the sector reopens, that people will be encouraged to go and use hotel facilities once again, which will be critically important for the recovery of that sector. I have long been of the opinion that hotels are a safe, controlled environment for people to engage in socially distanced activities, and it is my hope that the reduction in VAT will see a similar boom in tourism that we saw in the early part of the last decade, which helped us greatly to get out of the last recession. And I think it's going to be very wise of the government and the different government departments with responsibility for investing in this area to put into place measures such as the gathering that we had at the start of the last decade, which I thought was quite an effective measure. It's also welcome that the extension of the employee wage subsidy scheme into 2021, which I know will come as a huge relief. And this will ensure that there will be less redundancies and layoffs. It is vital that we maintain the link between employers and employees, and this will allow businesses to return quickly when the restrictions are lifted. The continuation of rate holidays and tax warehousing also gives employers certainty around cash flow, and it ensures that there is not an increase in additional costs, causing debts to grow during the lockdown periods. We must also remember that the hospitality sector is a key component of the Irish economy. I have already outlined to the Dáil how important it is to my own constituency on several occasions here, but as a collective it's worth up to 7.6 billion and employing over 180,000 people across the country, which is absolutely staggering. And it just shows how important it is that we have a multilateral approach to government to try and get this industry off its feet once again when we're getting through the worst of the pandemic. Any support that we can put in place to protect such industries is timely, and it is welcomed, Minister. And the leadership that has been shown by the Minister to put forward the necessary financial resources in place and to take advantage of the current low interest rate is highly encouraging. I hope that we continue to engage in sustainable investment patterns to ensure that we have a robust and future-proofed economy for the challenging times that lie ahead of us. We must not be afraid to spend now in order to save in the future. Gur Malbert.